Hello everyone, how you all doing? Hope you're having a great day so far. I'm a little bit under the weather myself, but I should be good enough to record this video. Forgive me if I have some cough fits in the middle of the video, but it is what it is. If you're new to the format, this is the Demoscene Report for the 8th of May 2024. I will summarize everything that happened in the active Demoscene throughout this week. These videos used to be monthly. I recently switched them to being weekly. Let me know if you think this format is better or worse than the previous one. And the idea is to have a summary of all of the things that have been happening recently on the Demoscene to make it more available, approachable for newcomers to get into what's happening in the Demoscene, and also for some old-timers of the Demoscene if they want to catch up with what's been happening, the latest news. This might be a nice resource for them to have. So please share this video with someone that you think might have some interest in it. So yeah, quite a few things happened this week, so let's take a quick look. And the first item on our agenda is the Multimatograf party that happened in Vologda in Russia on the last days of April. I quickly talked about it on the previous week, but I didn't go through all the different releases because they weren't completely available yet, so let's quickly go over them now. So 1K executable graphics only had a single entry, but it was interesting that it was for the PlayStation, so kudos to that. A nice Chaos Construction 2024 invitation, so really cool by Frog of Realm of Illusion. 256-byte combined intro only had a single entry for MS-DOS, was made by 7Dump, nice high color mode there. 256-byte old school intro for entries for the ZX Spectrum, mostly Last of Chess Master by Shuran, Morph by Gauguin, and Magic Loom by KL. All of them were pretty solid 256-byte intros. We had a 4K old school intro as well, but only for the BK. AR1 by IDW2RU. Then we had some Ashinasi graphics, not much participation, quick entry by WBC, and an Ashi entry for ZX Spectrum by Shuran. It's not very common to see Ashi for the Spectrum, so it's cool that we see that, and it could be an interesting platform to explore. Combined Demo Compo had a very interesting demarinated entry. It's a Farian demo. Welcome to our latest Umlaut member from Russia, who decided to make a drone tribute, giving greets to me, which I deeply appreciate, and also inviting people to come to Synergy and using the graphics from the original marinated invitation for Multimatograph. Very interesting demo. Thanks for making it. Then we had the a more what's it called, new wave, retro wave styled aesthetics by Ivan Galactica, called Best Things in second place, and in first place we had Fairy Memories by Mayhem for the Amiga, with just a particle system and some 3D objects, but a nice little solid demo there. The Fast and Wild competition didn't have that many quality entries, just some quick drawings. The winner was by Shuran. Old School Demo competition was the highlight of the party, in my humble opinion. Floor by Sandro for the Electronic BKs, pretty solid BK demo, 16K intro even. Pocket Picasso by Outsiders, nice little ZX Spectrum demo with some nice feeling there. Then Flat Colors by CSI and Access Steam, very cool BK demo. We don't see that many BK, Electronica BK productions. They mostly come out of Russia, been steadily dripping throughout the last few years, and it really, like, these new demos really show what the capabilities of the platform, and it's so limited, but at the same time it feels very interesting to explore. So very cool demo by CSI and Access. And the winner was Unspoken by Stardust for the ZX Spectrum demo. Very solid ZX Spectrum demo, probably one of the best in the year so far. The final version is not available yet. They had a party version available for a very short period of time, then they took it offline. They're working on the final version to be released, but you can check the video as well on YouTube. Very cool things, a lot of animation use, but I think it was very well paced and a very strong demo. Old school graphics competition, we had a little bit of a controversy here. Some nice entries for the ZX Spectrum using the 53C mode, but with some outlines as well, which is a nice interesting take on the mode. Kotayama also did a little entry here for fighters, entry by Grongi. Katoyama again, but this time for the Commodore 64. For the MSX as well. TMK with a joke entry of fighting a ball of beer. War by Arttop, also very stylishly made pixel art, one of my favorites from the competition. Remains of Former Greatness by Uris, also pretty good. Reference to Atlantis, I would guess, or the Greek mythologies. Mandalorian by Katoyama for the Amstrad CPC. Katoyama with a lot of entries on this compo. Diver Renoa did this masterpiece as well. A lot of very interesting dithering on this one. Sabbath by Error got some controversy because it was a conversion of an AI image made for the Commodore 64, and you can tell that it's a conversion easily because of the dithering, like it's consistent throughout the entire image, but still got third place despite of that. In second place we had Rainy Day by Dimidrol. A lot of detail into this one for the ZX Spectrum as well, and the winner was also a conversion image and also got some controversy out of that. But for the MSX, again by Error of Errorsoft, made with AI tools and then converted, but it's a very good image, so it's undeniably a good image. But it raised the question again that if we should allow AI-assisted tools to be involved in old school graphics or not. It's a hard discussion, hard topic. There are some renewed discussions about that on Puet if you want to read about them, and we will talk about them a little bit more further down the road. So let's look at old school music competition for now, and it was won by MMCM of Sage with The Bright Rays of You, second place for Kuvo, and third place for EA of Antares. All of them for the ZX Spectrum, only one single entry for the NES on the compo. Real-time 8-bit music cover, I have no clue what this is, but it was won by JPEG. I guess they give you a theme and you have to make it during the party. Maybe it's a fast music. I don't know. Real-time old school paint over, I guess it's similar thing. You have to paint over an image, and only one person did something, which was Vinny, and he ended up winning because sole entry. So with this image for the ZX Spectrum. Real-time ZX 53C. 53C is a special block mode that allows you through some real-time trickery, allows you some special colors to be shown, which doesn't really reflect very well on this screenshot. But believe me that you have some extra colors that the Spectrum would not usually have. There's a special editor for this, and it's common to have them on Russian demo parties. The theme for this entry in particular was something about sleeves, sleeves as in this part of your clothes, and yeah, that restricted the number of entries that were submitted, but there were still quite a few of them. Nice sunlight there. And the winner was this by Shudan. I think it's a cat inside a sleeve. I'm not sure what it is, but it won. So yeah, 53C competition, always a hit on Russian demo parties. Then we had the wild competition where anything goes that doesn't fit the other competitions. Aeon reusing the phone that was already used in a few Demoscene productions before, this time making a video animation out of it. This was the more controversial entry that got a lot of interesting discussions on Puet afterwards. A music disc made completely with AI-assisted things. Both the visuals and the music were made completely in AI. I find it interesting in knowing what is the current capability of AI. But it does raise the question of should this be allowed in the competition of artistic stuff? Personally, I'm not against it as long as it's clearly mentioned what is AI and what is not AI, so people can judge accordingly. I still find it interesting to see. It would not be a music disc that I would play again, but there are a lot of music discs that I would not play again either, so I don't know. I still think that it's worth sharing though with the community. So if Error was making this music disc, I think it has a place to be shared with the Demoscene community for people to know, see, hear what is being done with AI nowadays, instead of splitting up the creative people who explore AI with the creative people who do not explore AI. I think there is room for both as long as the rules are clearly defined on the competitions, what is allowed and what is not allowed. Anyways, Flip got 5th place with a track to music. Forever Clubland music video by CSLR of Sensor Studios got 4th place. In 3rd place, the Duck guy ended up not using ducks anymore, and he did this computer advertisement instead. In 2nd place, a nice music disc for the Electronica BK. We actually saw a preview at the compo. The final version should be available soon. Electronica BK is very limited in terms of sound, so it was very cool to see this, and it also has some visualization of the music, so it was both a music disc and a slideshow in some way. So really cool entry by CSI. And the winner was Coolness by the Furnace Posse, or Furnace Pose. This music disc focuses on exploring the ESFM chip. Furnace Tracker recently had an update that allows you to track for this chip in particular. There was a competition a few months ago where there were quite a few tracks made for this chip, and WBC had one of these boards at home and a computer and set it up, decided to make a music disc compiling all of the different entries. So this is the result. Really cool music, nice interface, so a worthy winner in my opinion. Congratulations, the Furnace Posse. ZX Spectrum Beeper Music was the last compo, also participant. I got last place with a track that I made very quickly, just learning the one tracker tracker for the workshop that I was giving at Synergy. A few other productions of a much higher quality. Special mention for Light Beam of Shiru getting 2nd place, and FFS by UTS of Irlicht Project getting 1st place. They also did a ZX Spectrum Showdown with an updated version of Basmatic, originally developed by Gasman. Nuke did some changes, quality of life improvements to it as well. They had a showdown of 45 minutes each round. Nuke won against Goggin on the first semi-final. Then Nico won against B-Fox, and the great final was won by Nuke, and runner-up was won by Goggin. So interesting to see Basmatic being used a bit more, and comparing it to the Shader Showdown is slightly less eventful of things happening, because it takes a lot more for you to code Z80 assembler to have something on screen that is interesting. So in that regard, it's not as exciting. It's also harder to follow because not everyone knows Z80 assembler, but I think it's still interesting to pursue, and that people are doing these kind of events. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you enjoy the releases from Multimatograf, write down on the comments of the video. Then talking about other things besides Multimatograf, I wanted to talk about Analogik. They released the music disc at Revision 2024. The music disc was full of chiptunes released by them years ago, and now in a web interface where you can have nice visualization for the tunes. And they started recording a series of videos trying to cover all of the tracks that were released. Number 2 and number 3 were just recently released, each one over an hour worth of nice chiptune music. So check those out if you like chiptunes. And talking about videos on YouTube, Nick Kothick did another of his episodes going through the Demoscene research that he's been doing about the earlier Demoscene days. He had already made a few videos about the Commodore 64 scene, and now he's covering the early Amiga scene, talking about TechTech and Soda and Magician 42's legendary demo that was a reference for so many groups back then. That really helped popularize the Amiga demo scene. So a nice little video going into it and explaining all the connections and what happened to Solon and Magician 42 after they had made this little demo. So check that out as well. Then we had quite a few entries, new entries released outside of any competition for the Commodore 64. Genesis Project released the GP Micro Intro. Stablizer turns 50, released by XS. Starship Genesis, also by Genesis Project. And Invader XS Intro by XS. Still in terms of new releases, Razer 1911 decided to release the Red Dead Redemption 2 Cracktro, made in collaboration with Go280 and Dubmood and Replay and Master Boot Records and a few other people, and Zabaton as well on the music. I especially like the Pararaum reference there on the logo. Very funny intro. The people hated the colors, but I think he had a very interesting vibe to it, a very surrealistic feel. And the little Ashi character was really funny. So I really enjoyed this one. Should we talk about the connection between the active groups and the cracking scene? So there are not that many demo scene groups still active in the cracking scene. Usually there's like a special demo scene division dedicated to just making the intro itself that the cracking group does. Very few groups still active in those two fronts. Razer 1911 is one of them. Fairlight is another one. So it used to be back in the 90s that a lot of groups were active or shared members that were active on both fronts. But after the police started cracking down on the piracy, there was the separation increased a lot, and nowadays it's not very common to see demo scene productions showing up as crack intros. But sometimes cracking groups still ask demo scene for a specific little intro, and this was the case with Red Dead Redemption 2. Vintage Computing Carinthia number 28 also took place at the beginning of May. Just a very small meetup in Austria. They do it every single month. They focused a lot on on LCD fonts for reasons that I don't know. They had OpenSprite editor also released there as well for the Commodore 64, and they celebrated May the 4th, which is important if you're a Star Wars fan. So yeah, nice little meetup, but it's really cool to see, and it helps have some dynamics on the local scene as well and keep things interesting. Then we had Synergy happening here in Portugal, which I helped organize. I went to Cantanhede with a few other people from Inertia and joined the Load ZX Museum people organizing the event. It was not just about demo scene, we also had some other things there. We had Peter Wilhouse from Formula 1 game for the ZX Spectrum there. Also the publisher of the game, Clem Chambers, was present there. A few other things. There was a talk about Dev IDE history with some famous demo sceners also present there. And we also organized some demo scene competitions along with it. The Wild Showcase only had 2 entries, one by myself exploring the 53C editor. Then we had Unfinished Business by Marquee Design, which was a massive 256-byte album for the ZX Spectrum with a lot of small size intro for the ZX Spectrum. We had a party version there, which wasn't quite finished, and Super Oak says that he will do a final version soon. Really cool entry, one of the highlights of the party, especially if you like size coding, of course. Still talking about size coding, we had the ZX Spectrum 256-byte intro competition that was won by Just Relax by FOYM with this little pissing man. Not many entries, unfortunately. I was hoping for a little bit more, but Multimatograf had just happened 1 or 2 weeks before, so kind of was expecting it. ZX Spectrum Graphics was very positively surprised. Philip with a remote entry here, another remote entry by a Portuguese person, Best Friends by Ice303. Then we had Nest by Error of Errorsoft, using AI tools, converting him, and then retouching on multi-paint. Got a lot more punished on the Synergy compos because it was explicitly mentioned that it was made using AI tools in a way, which I think is a good compromise. It allows people to vote a bit better. The image is still an interesting image. I still like it, but the amount of effort skill required to produce the image is slightly lower than it would be for the other images. So I think it's rightfully placed in that regard. Katoyama released May the 4th tribute as well with Stormtrooper Luke. And RTX On by Evil Lava Session, made during the pixel art workshop that we gave. Made this little nice moon drawing here. ZX and Multipaint by Jae also got a 5th place, also made during the workshop session that we promoted. Tiago Monteiro by Doc of Raw Ars, nice tribute to Portuguese race driver Tiago Monteiro. And Synergy, the event was focused around speed racing, so it was very much on theme with our party theme. Return of Street Samurai by Sule of Oftenheid, amazing piece for the ZX Spectrum. 2nd place shared with Mona by Ray Noah of Mayhem, also a masterpiece. I love the twisted vibes, that it's like a slightly surrealist, really cool stuff, and the city background as well, really cool image. And the compo was won by Diane of the Sarge, and you usually know the Sarge from doing Commodore 64 graphics. This was actually his first ZX Spectrum graphics entry ever, and he won the compo. Congratulations. Really stylish image, really unique style, really good use of the block limitations, so and the particular color, so really cool to see. Well done, the Sarge. Thank you so much for your submission and supporting Synergy. What else? We also had ZX Spectrum Music with a few little entries, some of them made during the workshop, like Sequence 9000 by Evil. I also made a quick entry here just to make sure that we had enough entries for the compo. I also bothered a few people, WBC and Demo Music, to make music on the last hour, which they complied. Aki got 2nd place with a very cool AY chip music, and Highball of Mibri won with a beeper track, so single tracker for the 48K beeper. Really cool track. Congratulations, Mibri, on your effort. We also made at the party place a little music disc and slideshow where you can see all of the different entries or listen to all of the different entries. So you can download these and check all the entries directly instead of downloading everyone individually. And we also recorded a tape which we will be sending to the top 3 winners of all the competitions. And if you want one of those tapes, you can get in touch with Philippe Vega of Technic, or get in touch with me and I'll hook you up with a person to share as a memento of the party. Limited edition, one-time thing. Also, we had a ZX Spectrum Jam using Basmatic as well. 3 people locally, Lord Cox's, Mr. Spiv, and Rui Martins. All 3 of them were present locally. Lord Cox is abandoned quite after 5-10 minutes. He realized he was too drunk for this. But thanks for participating anyways. And then we had a few remote entries as well. SQ and TMK participating from Russia, and Gasman from the United Kingdom, and Super Rogue from Holland also submitting some stuff, which was pretty fun setup. Genio made a DJ set with some of his more iconic tracks, so a very chaotic set, but it was a lot of fun, and I hope you people enjoyed it as well. All of these things were recorded and are up on Inertia's YouTube channel, the Demoscene part of things. If you want the complete Synergy experience, you can go to the Load ZX Museum YouTube channel as well, and all of the things are there as well. We also had a quiz show with questions about the ZX Spectrum and the ZX Spectrum demo scene, which was really funny to see how little people know of these things. But that should probably be repeated with some hardcore ZX Spectrum demo sceners. I think it would be an interesting experience. Anyways, more things before we wrap up the show, because it's already taking a bit too long. New things, new developments on the TIC-80 scene. New version of pakettic with some changes, so it allows parallel processing, so it's now faster than ever to try to find the optimum of your packing for TIC-80 size limited things, so check that out. And still on TIC-80, Alice has been trying to integrate the FFT version that we've been using for our bytechamps into the official TIC-80 branch, and she has been putting up some versions that you can test around. So if you want to help with that, test things on different platforms like on Mac, on Windows and stuff like that, get in touch with Alice through this repo or on the Field Effects Discord, where we've been talking about the development of this as well. A few other quick things before we wrap up. I found this very cute little CSS hack. So it's entire game of Doom, but done entirely in CSS with CSS animations, and it's not really playable. You can only go back and forth on the timeline. You can't really move around per se. Everything is based on the scrolling position that you are in. Still a really cute thing to see, you know. So yeah, and what else? The books that chronicle the history of Atari ST Demoscene. I also saw this post recently, posted by Marine Comics. They go through all of the Atari ST books that were released recently and do like a slightly review on each one of them. So if you're interested in the Atari ST Demoscene and not sure what book is worth getting and which ones are not really that interesting, this article might be for you, so you can get more insight into what is worth what. And that's it. Time to talk about the upcoming demo parties. People very busy finishing up things for Outline and X demo party. Also Birdie Online happening. No clue if it has Demoscene competitions. I would assume it does, but it's mostly Swedish people that usually attend. Then Poland retro scene is gonna have a boost at the end of the month as well, with Deep Crunch and Moonshine Dragons happening, and 68 inside happening in Finland as well, dedicated to all sorts of 68K machines. Layer 1, part of a hacker conference in the United States, also happening at the end of May. And then talking about hacker conference, we have an hacker camp happening in the United Kingdom, where Field Effects is the demo party that is embedded in there. So yeah. Hope you have fun. Hope you do some more productions for this month. See you next week. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, before you leave, if you like this production and you would like to see me do more like it, please consider donating something through Patreon. Patreon.com/psnf, whatever you're willing to donate. €1, €2, €5 would be great, helping me keep improving the setup. I'm in dire need of a hard disk backup for these videos, so if you want to buy me that, it's on the Amazon wish list on the description below as well, so please consider doing that. Other than that, hope you have a great day. See you next video. Bye bye, everybody. Take care.